We've got big fun waiting to be unleashed. We'll be posing some of life's most important questions. Your answers will be paired off in a no-holds-barred tournament. And your votes will determine which answers advance in the bracket. As we whittle down to our championship winner, this is bracketeering. I'm sending the topic of our first bracket to your devices now. Best thing to squeeze when you're freaking stressed out, besides a stress ball. Ironically, this question is stressing me out, and I got nothing to squeeze. Type in the answer you think has the best chance of winning and hit send. If your answer wins the entire bracket, you'll be rolling in cash. By the way, you can join the audience and play along by going to jackbox.tv and entering the room code. Your answers are being paired off into one-on-one matchups. That means it's time to sidle up to the prediction table. On your device, you'll see one of the upcoming matchups for this bracket. If you can predict the answer that will get the most votes, you could win some sizable bonus bucks. The predictions are in. Let's dive into our first bracket. Bitter rivals collide. Use your device to vote on which you think deserves to win. But don't forget, if you change your mind, you can change your vote. Just running out the clock now. They're on fire! No one could have predicted this one. Moving on to our next matchup. These answers faced off last year, but will the results be the same? This one's looking over. Get out of the way! I don't condone gambling, but if you bet on this one, it paid off for you. Let's see what tensions are mounting over in the Omega Conference. Oh, it doesn't get more contentious than this. The lead keeps changing hands. That had more ups and downs than a roller coaster. And now our last two contenders face off. That was ugly. No surprises on the prediction front. Before we get on to round two, it's time to make another prediction. Hey, you got a new matchup waiting for you on your device. Predict the one you think is gonna win. The predictions are in. Let's jump back to our bracket for round 2. This one's looking over already. That win was so big you could hear it the next state over. The finals are just a win away from these next 2 answers. This is why we do this, folks. It's really going back and forth. That battle gave me whiplash. And now the definitive matchup. What is the best thing to squeeze when you're freaking stressed out? Early votes. I am on the edge of my seat. Will we see a final push? We have our first winner. That was one hell of a bracket. Let's see how the scores shook out. It's time for the blind bracket. We start with just the category. Name any animal. Go ahead and write the first thing that comes to mind. We'll see the real bracket title after you answer. Time's running out. Let's see what this bracket is really about. Animal with the skills that would make for the best human superpower. Then all we gotta do is blast these answers with radiation and get them to bite us. Time to get in those predictions. The predictions are in. Starting things off. One answer is showing some promise. That victory will not require a recount, but I'm not allowed to talk about politics. Money, if you guessed it. Our next matchup. Talk about a rivalry. These two competitors have been at each other's necks all week. No one thought it would... Those are the superpowers I want! Let's see what's happening over on the other side of the bracket. An upset in the making. Get those last second votes in now. Ran away with that one. time to round out the bracket with this vicious matchup. The first batch of votes are here. No contest. Before we get on to round two, it's time to make another prediction. The predictions are in. Let's jump back to our bracket for round two. A clear favorite. A real tug of war. This one seems such power. This could be the answer to beat, but let's check out the competition. Potential winner starts to emerge. I am on the edge of my seat. A seesaw battle if I ever saw one. There's cash if you predicted this one. And now the final face-off. What animal has the skills that would make for the absolute best human superpower? We have a winner. Let's check out that scoreboard. And now for the bracket you've all been waiting for, the triple blind bracket. This bracket will change every single round. Here's your starting category. Give any short insult. Who knows what crazy twists and turns this bracket will take? Time's running out. Let's see what we're dealing with. Best tagline for a real housewife to say during the opening credits. Time to get in those predictions. All cash is doubled this round, so make these choices count. The predictions are in. Let's start with a bang. Big win, Daddy likes. Next up, no one thought it would be this close. This one's looking over. I'm making happy noises. Everyone bets on the favorite and cashes in. Let's see what tensions are mounting over in the Eastern Conference. Former teammates, will these two answers be able to stay focused on the matchup? That wasn't even close. And now our last two contenders face off. An early favorite emerges. An upset in the making. Just running out the clock now. I don't believe it! Money if you guessed it. We're changing that bracket title again. Best name for a restaurant where the waiters insult you. Get those predictions in now. The predictions are in. Let's jump back to our bracket for round two. Here come the votes. It's really go. Ouchie, it's a tie. Tap on your device as fast as you can to cheer for your answer. Kewpie Pie Potato Sticks! One more match to determine our finals. Only one can come out on top. This one, decisive victory. One more change. Best pet name. I hope your answers still make sense. And now the definitive matchup. This one's looking over. That win's gotta feel good. But did any of that affect the final standings? This is bracketeering. I'm sending the topic of our first bracketeer devices now. The word or phrase that works best as the punchline for any joke. Enter your answers now. Time's running out. Your answers are being paired off into one-on-one matchups. The predictions are in. It's time to dive into our first bracket. Just running out the clock now. That was a slaughter. Next up. Voters are being loud and clear on this one. The lead keeps changing hands. This one seems like it's over before it's done. Dominating win. There's cash if you predicted this one. Why don't we see what's going on the other side of the bracket? It's a bracket like this that truly makes this game the sport of kings. Oh, that win was so big you could hear it in the next state over. It's time to round out the bracket with this vicious matchup. Could this be a blowout? The struggle is real. It's a nail-biter! I did not see that coming. Before we get on to round two, it's time to make another prediction. The predictions are in. Let's jump back to our bracket for round two. I can't believe I'm seeing this! No one thought it would be this close. Back and forth they went. We're just one match away from our finals. That was a clash of the Titans. This final matchup will determine what is the best punchline for any joke. Votes are incoming. A real tug of war. We're in the home stretch. We have our first winner. Wow, what a bracket. Let's see how the scores shook out. It's time for the blind bracket. All you'll be given is the category. Name any lesser celebrated holiday. Enter your answers now. Time's running out. Let's see what this bracket is really about. Best name for an emo rock band. Time to get in those predictions. The predictions are in. Up first, there is no love lost between these two. I am on the edge of my seat. What a whirlwind! Our next matchup. An upset in the making. An epic showdown. Some heads were spinning on that one. Let's see what's happening over on the other side of the bracket. Out of the gate with a big lead. Now that's how you get to Carnegie Hall. And now our last two contenders face off. Overwhelming support already. Just running up. A regular juggernaut. Before we get on to round two, it's time to make another prediction. The predictions are in. Let's jump back to our bracket for round two. A clear frontrunner. A W's a W. Our winner moves on to the final, but let's find out what they'll face off against. Two titans squaring off. We've got overtime. Show your support for your answer by tapping on your device as fast as you can. Growl. And now we finally decide What is the best name for an emo rock band? I'm seeing some early traction here. We have a winner! Let's go back to that scoreboard. It's all been leading up to this. Time for the triple blind bracket. This bracket will change every single round. Let's start with a category. Name any color. Who knows what crazy twists and turns this bracket will take? Time's running out. Let's see what we're dealing with. Sweetest color for a wedding tux. Time to get in those predictions. All cash is doubled this round, so make these choices count. The predictions are in. Up first, the lead keeps changing hands. Who'll come out on top? What an upset! Some players just came up empty. Moving on to our next matchup. This is a big one. That kind of domination is illegal in some states. Let's see what tensions are mounting over in the Omega Conference. This matchup was bound to happen. This one's looking over. Like falling off a log. It's time to round out the bracket with this vicious matchup. Butt sweat. Money if you guessed it. Let's switch up this bracket. The color that best describes the feeling after pooping. Get those predictions in now. Time's running out. The predictions are in. Let's jump back to our bracket for round two. This one's looking over already. This one seems like it's over. Yabba dabba poop poop-a-goo! This could be the answer to beat, but let's check out the competition. No added salt! And it all comes down to this. The scariest color for the glowing eyes under your bed. I hope your answers still make sense. And now the final face-off. Voters are being loud and clear on this one. That's how you do it. Let's see who won it all!